Hi there, my name is Alisdair MacRae, and my collaborator on this project, Patrick Lacasse, and I are presenting this video to help explain some of the aspects of the solar radio. Patrick built the circuit, and I developed the idea on some previous opportunities that we'll get into with this video. A little bit of background. I'm a sculptor and installation artist, and I'm interested in sound for its accessibility and interactivity. I worked on some projects with radios in the late 20th century when radios could be gotten from Value Village and thrift stores for a very cheap price, and I'd connect them to these old joysticks and different systems that would just activate the sound by making a connection with the speaker, so very basic interactivity. One of the artists that I really appreciate, and I think Patrick appreciates too, is John Cage, and I just want to include this short clip of some of his works because he deals with chance operations. And this early work, Water Walk, I believe from the 1950s, might seem very arbitrary and random, but he's actually presented this in a way that's measured, and he's using certain aspects in a way that when he knocks something over or he works with an object, the outcome might not be quite as expected.
You may laugh. If you like it, you may buy the recordings. John Cage and Water Walk.
The second work, which is radio music, also from the 1950s, a piece that's composed using radios that are being tuned live by the musicians in the piece. Again, they're working from a score, but the difference is that the content that's being played on the radio is unknown. I first met Patrick. We both worked at the Carleton University Art Gallery. Patrick still works there as the exhibition and installation person, and I first came to Carleton in 2007 as part of an exhibition that was traveling, and I was working on a piece called The African American Spiritual, and it's basically a listening space where it's sort of an installation piece where people would sit in these chairs around this sort of object, and they could listen to audio from an interview of Joe Carter, who is a an expert, a specialist on African American spirituals. He was being interviewed by Krista Tippett to commemorate, well, he gave the interview in 2003 and then he passed away in 2006. So the interview was replayed as sort of a commemoration of his life. And Patrick helped me build the FM transmitter that was needed to send the radio signal to the headphones that people could listen to the piece.
Swing low, sweet chariot. I said it's coming for to carry me home. Well, I looked over.
This hour, an exuberant experience of conversation and singing the spirituals. There are nearly 5,000 spirituals in existence. Their organizing concept is not the melody of Europe, but the rhythm of Africa. They were composed by slaves, bards whose names we will never know, and yet gave rise to gospel, jazz, blues, and hip-hop. Joe Carter lived and breathed the universal appeal and the hidden stories, meanings, and hope in what were originally called sorrow songs.
What we're talking about is human suffering. And how do we survive when the worst happens? What are the mechanisms? I can sing Motherless Child in Siberia. They know what it means. They've been through hell. I can go to Scotland and Ireland and Wales and sing these. They understand the sentiments. The songs have become symbolic, I think, of that universal quest for freedom, that yearning for freedom, and that part of us that says, I will not be defeated.
So that was sort of an introduction to Patrick, and then we worked together at the gallery for about 10 years and developed some common interests, or found that we had some common interests. One very strong interest that we found we both had was for music, and we would talk about music while we were at work, and we got the idea that we could maybe collaborate on an exhibition using musical objects. And Patrick had a book called Sound Designs by Bannock and Scoville. He's two authors, and they talk about this notion of perfect music, where basically anyone is a musician and anyone can make sound, and they just encourage people to do that. So we used a lot of ideas from that book to develop objects for this show called Perfect Music that was hosted by the City of Ottawa, and we had a lot of fun. People seem to enjoy it, just walking into the gallery space and playing with these objects, because usually in a gallery space you're not supposed to touch things and it's supposed to be very quiet, and that's fine. It's a different maybe setup than what we had in mind, but we were really pleased to explore all these different ideas we had with analog sort of instruments, that weren't powered by electricity, and we also made some cigar box guitars, and Patrick, given his background in electronics, he was making some drone box sort of synthesizers, some very straightforward desktop synthesizers. And this video will show some of those ideas. We had another opportunity. We sent out proposals based on that first exhibition from 2014, and we were offered an exhibition in Vernon, British Columbia, from the Vernon Public Art Gallery, and we were very pleased to sort of update our ideas around the proposal, and this was called Perfect Music High Voltage, because many of the sort of objects were electronic sound making objects, and we really explored making the space very interactive in terms of the electronic devices, but the whole space was wired for sound, and we had 4 speakers in the space, so it was very immersive and just a lot of fun. People seem to also enjoy that a lot, just going into the space and making noise and experimenting with these different sort of noisemakers. So for the solar radio, that developed out of an opportunity. The Hum Microgallery in Ottawa contacted me. I believe Linda Cronin organizes that gallery, and asked if I was interested in proposing something. So I proposed this sort of radio piece that would transmit the audio signal to the gallery container through a transducer. So the sound vibrations are being passed to the gallery space, and the gallery itself becomes like a speaker. And it would be powered by solar power, and it would just play whatever music happened to be on the tune station at the time. And I found a circuit that you're able to scan the bandwidth for different stations. And that worked out pretty well. And I was able to also show the work at Gallery 1723 in Long Beach, California. And Gallery 1723 is curated by Dave Clark. And again, I had to rely on Patrick to help me with this circuit for the radio, because I tried building it. It's just an Elmco radio kit, FM radio kit, but I tried building it and it just would not work. And Patrick got it to work, so I was very happy to collaborate with him on that. And so it went to Long Beach, and then we were also able to propose it to the Lamasco Gallery in Evansville. And Tori graciously accepted the proposal, and that's what is being hosted by Lamasco Microgallery currently. And this little excerpt of an interview with Patrick will give you a better sense of the sort of things that he works on and his sort of interests. So you've built a number of guitars, number of pedals.
Yeah, I mean, the guitar is mostly like assembled from parts. I haven't built like, bodies from scratch or anything like that. Yeah. So I wouldn't say I built them. I've assembled them. Yeah, it would be more like accurate.
Your pedal board?
Yeah. So this one, probably one of my favorites, and one I'm really proud of. It's based on an old circuit called the Orpheum Fuzz, which is a variation on the Mozart circuit. But like I do with most of my pedals, I kind of tweak the circuits, because I listen to them and then I think, okay, I like this about it and I like this, but I don't like this, and what can I do to fix this thing I don't like, or, things like that.
So this circuit wasn't too difficult for you. It's just a matter of really plugging in components.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know much about radio circuits, and it's more a question of getting the right components in the right spots, basically. Yeah.
What do you, what are the things that you wouldn't necessarily, there's obviously an audio component, which isn't that difficult for you to figure out, but what are the aspects that you wouldn't necessarily, that are outside of what you usually deal with?
Well, like the whole, I don't even know how to explain it really, but like amplitude this is an FM radio?
Yeah.
So frequency modulation aspect. So you have the audio that's transmitted, from the radio station. It kind of rides along on some other, like a radio wave, like the audio gets encoded by frequency modulation. I don't even know, like I said, how to explain it, but that's how, something like that. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who know a lot more about this than I do.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty good explanation so far. Well, because all the crystal radios worked, they're FM.
Yeah.
Because doesn't FM have the power? With a crystal radio, you don't need power?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, fair enough.